The power of local councils is still massively underestimated by the public and by many councillors themselves. For years, the power and funds of the local government have been transferred to the local authorities. This has resulted in a window of opportunity for corruption and incompetence, which affects the lives of every citizen individually as well as the whole economy and culture. The progress of transferring central government decision-making power, followed by emptying our national budget, is called devolution, in other words, the Great Reset. Devolution itself means gradual degeneration, a gradual progress of getting back to a primitive way of living and thinking. The levelling up program of the devolution system reflects the principles articulated in a communist manifesto. Despite the varied approaches of Marx, Engels, Trotsky, and Lenin, they all shared the collective objective of establishing a global government and a new world order under a communist framework. Likewise, the devolution and levelling up initiatives are driven by this overarching goal of instituting a global government and a new world order, characterized by a communist system. This revolutionary plan for socialism, which included the abolition of all religion, was reminiscent of the doctrines of Weishaupt. It was basically a program for establishing a perfect state, and it called for the workers, proletariat, to revolt and overthrow the private ownership of industry and for the government to own all property. Marx felt that by controlling all production, the ruling power could politically control a country. The primary objective of the course remains unchanged. It is to establish a world governed by a single global authority, eliminating individual laws and regulations in each country. The iconic propaganda slogan "Workers of the World Unite" is evident in today's international economic and United Nations summits. The devolution and levelling up system, with its deep historical roots, has expanded globally over time. As previously mentioned, the main objectives of the Marxist vision for the New World Order are being pursued through the current initiatives and actions of the United Nations and global economic plans, all aimed at shaping our future. The entire structure of this system is built upon the concept of permanent revolution, which is driven by the people themselves. The Marxist communist ideology is consistently focused on the fundamental goal of creating a compliant human being who can seamlessly integrate into an ideal communitarian society. Only through this approach can the New World Order be realized. This entails the elimination of all religious beliefs, the erasure of individual identities, the suppression of creativity, the dissolution of national boundaries, the eradication of diverse cultures, the abolition of private ownership, and even the elimination of climate disparities. The devolution of the UK was not initially embraced by the British government until Tony Blair became Prime Minister. Blair's fascination with Trotsky and Marxism opened the door to devolution that had been kept on the doorsteps for years. He introduced fast reform in all sectors of our system. The devolution system is structured around the authority of local governments, which have the power to implement social and economic changes without the constraints of national democratic law. Devolved local authorities have the autonomy to appoint and employ third parties to advance the devolution agenda at the national level. Each emergency or proposal that is suggested globally is followed by millions of pounds in grants from the UN, as well as from the central national budget and foreign investors and stakeholders. The most important engine of this system is the media propaganda and twisted education, which create the aforementioned permanent revolution by dividing societies through all sorts of nonsensical issues and acting against each other. There are numerous NGOs that directly work with councils and influence council decisions. Furthermore, these selected NGOs are linked by subject under the umbrella of a leading global NGO that is directly connected to the UN.